Climate Watch. A new report says the world hit a record for carbon dioxide emissions this year. The research by the Global Carbon Project shows an estimated 2.7 increase in CO2 emissions since last year.
The report also estimates that more than 37 billion tons of carbon dioxide emissions will be produced from fossil fuels this year. So Jeff Berardelli is our CBS News contributing meteorologist and is joining us now. So I kind of joked a little bit about always having to get that sticker on my car, and I feel like we're so aware of what we're personally pumping out. And then you get this report that basically says, you know, I know you're doing a lot, but
our children are in big trouble.
Yeah. So, explain this. Why is there an increase in carbon dioxide?
The economy is good around the world. The economy is good, and energy demand is outpacing renewable energy right now. Renewable energy is coming online, but the energy demand from countries like the United States, but especially countries like China, just still going up at a faster pace than we can replace it with renewables, and that's what's happening right now, unfortunately.
So one of the professors in the study said that there had been some optimism in the last decade and that people thought U.S. emissions were decreasing. In fact, you know, we are laying to rest President George H.W. Bush, who had a big role to play in cleaning up our air in this country. And so a lot of people felt very good about that, but turns out not so true.
Right. So between 2014 and 2016, emissions had stabilized, and scientists had their fingers crossed, their toes crossed, everything crossed, because there was a chance that we had stabilized emissions. Not the case. Last year it went up 1.7%. This year, 2.7%. In the United States, we actually have seen a 13.5% emissions decrease, basically from the years 2007 to 2017. We have been doing well, but this past year we went up once again. And China went up 4.5%, a lot of that due to coal coming online and to a growing population. China has 4 times the population of the United States, and they right now produce around, I believe it is 27% of the carbon dioxide emissions worldwide, the United States at 15%.
And they're expected to keep going up.
Yes, they are going to go up for a while, and they projected they'd probably go up to around 2030, then level off, then go down. The problem with China is they have a lot of people who are growing out of which is the poorer classes into the middle class, and because of that, it's not just a doubling of the amount of energy; it's tripling, it's quadrupling, it's 10 timesing the amount of energy, because all of a sudden they're driving cars and they have air conditioner or whatever they have. So that's the big reason there.
So. It sounds so generic. What can we do here to help reduce emissions? You're going to have people who are going to say you can't seize, in other words, stall the U.S. economy because you're trying to worry about something that may not happen in the future. But clearly there is something going on. So what can be done?
Yeah, so, it's a question of what can we do personally, what can we do as a government? Just to give you an idea, and I was just talking about this, COP24 is going on right now in Poland. Poland is the host, and they opened up the ceremony as guests were walking in with a wall of coal because their country, 80% of their energy is from coal. And that's what we're fighting right now. A lot of countries want to hold on to old energy, be it coal, which is the dirtiest of energy. Gas is actually a lot more efficient, but it's still a dirtier energy than, let's say, fossil fuels, let's say solar panels and wind. So what can we do personally? We need to change our culture. And that's a big change. Yeah. We need to think of renewable sources of energy, buy electric cars, put solar panels on our roofs. But it starts at home with just being cognizant of the little things that make our environment better. It starts as simply as having, a reusable cup for water and for coffee, and not constantly throwing it. Now, that doesn't save anything. That does not help climate change. Right. But it gets you into a mindset where you can then make good decisions. By the way, I don't drive a car anymore. I don't eat meat anymore. And another thing that I do is I subscribe to wind power. And anybody can do this. I use a company called Arcadia Wind Power, where even if you use Con Ed here in the in New York City, or you use FPL in Florida, you can still subscribe to these alternative sources of energy. I subscribe to Arcadia. I suggest you check it out.
That is interesting. Cool. I am going to check that out. Thank you.
Always great to have you, man.
Yep, great to be here.